Let me tell you, the hardest part of investing isn't finding a good stock. It's managing your own psychology. We've all been there, right? You have a winner and you sell it way too early because you get nervous. Or you get bored of a great company that's been trading flat for a few months and you sell it right before it breaks out. That emotional roller coaster, that's where most of the money is lost. So let's dive into how I decided to fight back against my own brain. So what's the real culprit? The number one reason most investors underperform isn't that they're picking bad companies. Nope. It's because they just can't win the battle against their own emotional biases. The hardest part of this entire game isn't the market itself. It's the 6 inches between your own ears. So look, it really boils down to this. You have a choice. You can invest based on pure emotion, fear, greed, that fear of missing out, or just plain boredom. Or you can build a system based on rules, on data, logic, and discipline. One of those paths leads to a lot of expensive mistakes. The other one leads to consistent, repeatable results. I chose the system. And here she is. I call her Mary Jane. And let's be clear, this is not just some simple chatbot. She is a fully coded Python application that runs on a server, keeps an eye on all my positions, and tells me exactly what to do every single day at 6 p.m. She's basically my defense against my own worst instincts. And this isn't some theoretical, fun little side project. That number you're looking at, that's the real-world portfolio value that Mary Jane is analyzing every single day. Every recommendation she makes has real money on the line, which forces the system to be ruthlessly logical and, well, effective. So how does this thing actually work? I promise you, it's not magic. It's just logic, code, and data. So let's pop the hood and take a look at the engine that's driving all these decisions. The flow of information is actually way simpler than you think. We've got data coming in from public sources like Yahoo Finance and a bunch of news APIs, which are really just direct fire hoses of financial news. The Python agent, that's the brain. It grabs everything, processes it, and stores the important stuff in a database. And then me, I just see the final output on a really clean, simple web dashboard. That's the whole shebang. We can really break it down into 3 simple steps. First, we store the data. Every trade, every single price point. Second, the Python agent wakes up, connects to the live market, and runs its analysis. And third, I view the results on a dashboard that just tells me what to do. Store, analyze, view. That's it. Every single evening, like clockwork, the agent just runs down its checklist. It grabs the closing prices for all 10 of my stocks, it scans the news for anything important, and then it calculates all the key technical indicators. Stuff like the RSI, which tells us if a stock is overbought or oversold, the MACD, which helps us spot shifts in momentum, and of course moving averages, which kind of smooth out the noise to show the real trend. It basically builds a complete health check of the portfolio, automatically. All right, now for one of the system's most powerful features, scoring market sentiment. This is all about taking those noisy, subjective, and sometimes crazy news headlines and turning them into a single, cold, hard number. I mean, this is the classic investor's dilemma, isn't it? A stock you own drops 10%. Is that a golden opportunity to buy more at a discount? Or is it the beginning of a total disaster? Your gut is going to give you one answer, but trust me, the data can give you a much, much better one. And this is how we solve it. Mary Jane scans hundreds of news articles for a specific stock and then assigns a single sentiment score, from -1 for overwhelmingly negative news, all the way to +1 for just euphoric positive news. It gives me an instant read on what the market is actually thinking, completely free of my own biases. Here's a perfect real-world example. When Palantir was just soaring, the news was incredible. It had a sentiment score of +0.9, which is just pure euphoria. But at the exact same time, the technicals showed the RSI was way above 80, meaning it was massively overbought. The system combined those two facts and flagged a crystal clear take-profit signal. It didn't have to guess. The data told us the party was getting a little too crowded, right before the price corrected. Okay, the system's second major feature is trend detection. This is all about identifying the underlying patterns in a stock's price that our emotional, impatient brains are pretty much wired to miss. So the system is specifically programmed to look for 3 key patterns. Is a stock breaking out to new highs? Is it showing strong, sustained momentum? Or, and this might be the most important one, is it in a quiet consolidation phase, kind of coiling up like a spring before its next big move? A great example is SoFi, which is one of my largest holdings. For months, it's been trading sideways, and my emotional brain gets bored. But the system sees something completely different. It detects a consolidation phase, but with a bullish bias, because the price is consistently holding above that key technical level, the 50-day moving average. And this right here is exactly why having a system is so powerful. My emotions are screaming, this is boring, sell it and find something more exciting. But the system, just looking at the data, calmly says, accumulate. The pressure is building for a move higher. It replaces my boredom with a data-driven strategy. So after all that analysis, the sentiment scores, the trend detection, all the technicals, what's the final output? Well, it all gets distilled down into two incredibly simple, actionable lists. On the left-hand side, I get portfolio actions. These are just clear instructions for the stocks I already own. And on the right, new opportunities. A short, curated list of new stocks that the system has flagged based on its daily market scan. It's like it tells me how to manage my current team and who to draft next. And here's what that looks like in practice. For my portfolio, it might say hold SoFi because of that consolidation pattern, or maybe trim Nebius if it's getting a little overbought. And for new ideas, well, this is exactly how I found Arista Networks. The system flagged it as a top-tier infrastructure company with powerful momentum that fit perfectly right into my strategy. But we're just scratching the surface here. In our next explainer, I'm going to reveal the exact 5-point checklist that Mary Jane uses to screen every single new stock. And the best part is, you'll be able to use it yourself even without the code. Ultimately, it all comes down to this. The goal isn't to be a genius stock picker. The real goal is to build a system that you can trust, so you can let your money compound over the long term without your emotions getting in the way and messing everything up. So I'll leave you with this final thought. When it comes to the repetitive, data-driven, and emotionally charged game of investing, could a simple, logical system consistently make better decisions than you? It's something to think about.